In order to enable all of us to enjoy our holidays, a token has been sent to our various accounts by the clerk of the National Assembly. I withdraw that statement. In order to allow you to enjoy your holiday, the Senate President has sent prayers to your mailboxes. To assist you to go on a safe journey and return.
This was the President of the Nigerian Senate, the third man in the hierarchy of leadership in Nigeria, sharing money that belongs to the masses between him and his cronies right there on the floor of the National Assembly. He tells them that it is for them to enjoy themselves during their holidays. This is a nation with the highest poverty rate in the world, where a majority of the population go to bed hungry and wake up the next day not knowing where and who to turn to. They have enough to share amongst themselves, money that has nothing to do with their salaries or other allocations that they normally give themselves daily and without end. Corruption at the highest order. A very pitiful scenario to witness. The most painful part of it is the brazen nature he went about it, till they told him that there are cameras and the press in the house, and he dumbly said what he said yet again, trying to change the context, thereby making things worse. Hello and welcome to Renaissance Multimedia, a platform where we examine leadership and the mental health of those that has political power. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, they say. But when impunity reaches unprecedented levels, it becomes a mental health issue. It is not out of place to state that many of our leaders find themselves living in an alternate universe from those they govern or rule over. They are so blinded by the unreserved edge that comes with the power they have, which most often is brazenly stolen, that
wishes to announce that he has been inundated with calls since the 28th day of February 2025 over some spurious allegations making the rounds in the social media and on television about a purported harassment of distinguished Senator Natasha.
They forget that other people are human beings like them. Many of these so-called leaders become victims of the power they have taken from the people instead of managing it effectively. In Nigeria, it has reached unprecedented levels, and it is completely disheartening to say the least. As we shine our light on the excesses of a Senate President of Nigeria, we show you 5 signs that shows that he may not be deserved of the position he is currently holding, because he is not in a good mental shape or may not be in a good mental shape to be there, as he is clearly harming the Constitution and the country in itself infinitely. Number 1 is delusion.
We are always right. So congratulations, Mr. President. I don't need to speak because they say action speaks louder than words. I just want to cast your mind back to the National Convention of the APC that brought you into office. At that convention, I was privileged to make a remark, and I referred to a young blind girl called Helen Keller. She was the first young person to use the braille in Radcliffe University in California, to use the braille to get first class. And when the press accosted her after making the convocation speech, and they asked her, instead of asking her, how did you achieve this? they went in a mischievous way to ask her, what do you think could be worse than being blind? And the young lady looked at them without hesitation. She responded to say, to have sight and no vision. To have sight and no vision. To have sight and no vision. In you, Mr. President, we have a president who has both sight.
This is a man that lives under the cuffs of delusion, knowing how deeply rooted his feet are in criminality and how he got to the position that he currently holds. He cares less about it and cares less about tomorrow, believing that there should be no consequences to follow him after whatever he's done. Along with his cohorts, they have the heartbeat of a nation and are people in their pockets. Therefore, let the heavens fall. Nothing will happen to him. He revels in impunity and lawlessness, knowing full well that he is harming society in the wake of it, but cares less.
I believe that all of you are doing
He abandons his call of duty and mandate of the people and pursue narrow-minded interests that focuses on entrenching himself in power at all costs and for as long as he can maneuver. This is a man who is a Senate president, the chief of the highest organ-making body of a country. He makes enemies of those that tell him the truth and embraces sacrifice and hangers on the very few he sees as consequential. He uses the instrument of cruelty, wickedness, and criminality to pursue inordinate interests. He cares less about the people, but only sees himself and his people as those that matter. He imagines a tomorrow that may never end, sees himself as the Lord of the Rings, whose every word must be obeyed. He refuses to believe that he is still human and that life remains transient and not guaranteed. He lives as if tomorrow will never come, makes enemies left, right, and center, commits atrocities with reckless abandonment, using the power of stolen wealth. He continues to hurt the soul of a nation that is crying out in pain, knowing full well how destructive his actions and decisions continue to be, but he cares less. Perhaps the worst part of what he does is harm the constitution of the country by rendering the organs of governance completely weak, dependent, broken, and subservient. He thinks less of a country but highly of himself and his cronies. This is a man who sings and dances in praise of a president, a man whose excesses he is supposed to curtail in line with the position he holds in parliament and in line with the sacred nature of such a position and also in line with the dictates of the constitution of the country. It doesn't matter if they were friends or from the same political party. The constitution of the country comes first, above parochial interests. This man has turned impunity into a daily exercise and has no apologies whatsoever. Ordinarily, one would have expected that despite their excesses, they would have at least respected the laws of a land that brought them to power. When considered that hurtful and criminally minded leadership is Africa's biggest challenge, one is forced to ask the big question, why are these leaders like this? Do you think that these men are victims of a power they have? If not, how do you describe the scenario and the depth of impunity that they presently and publicly deliver and display every day, abandoning their call of duty? Please let us know what you think. Like and share. Subscribe if you have not done so and wait for tomorrow's content to come. I promise you, it's gonna blow your mind. Until then, God bless you.